Hey, we're back, and this time we're at Barley Forge Brewing Company in Costa Mesa, California. It's in a small industrial park here. It's one of my favorite places to go. They have some great stock beers. They make some ryes and IPAs and porters, things of that nature. But they also have a chalkboard, and the chalkboard is always full of seasonal brews and special editions, which is why I love to pop in here periodically. Today, I invited someone from QSC, which is right around the corner. He came all the way from Colorado. It's this guy, Mike Brandis. We're going to talk about soccer. We're going to talk about art. We might even talk about AV. It's Technologists in bars talking AV. Hey everybody, welcome to Technologists in Bars Talking AV. I am your host, Mark Coxon, the AV Phenom, and today, all the way from Colorado, you believe that? Mike Brandis.
Thanks, Mark, for having me on. Appreciate it.
Awesome, man. I know we usually get together for a beer, but we don't usually tape it.
I know. So this is kind of the next step in our social media presence, I guess.
It's a relationship.
Yeah, it's doing what we normally do, but in front of a camera.
In front of that thing. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely. I appreciate you coming because I know you're in town just for a short time. Mm-hmm. Now, what are you doing right now? I know in the past, I knew what you were doing before. Where are you at and what are you doing right now?
So I work for kind of a fun company in the industry called QSC. So I'm product manager for all of our QSys video solutions, so our video conferencing systems, as well as our recently announced, soon to be released network video distribution system.
Yep, awesome. That's why, so you guys have been very interesting to me personally because in the past audio, and I was a QSC customer when I was on the integration side. When we did museums and stuff, we used your Rave DSPs, Rave DSPs.
There we go.
We used those, and then we started using some of the QSys architecture on bigger jobs.
Okay.
When QSys was only for large scale deployments.
Yeah, massive deployments.
Yeah. But that's changed. So you guys came down to the conference room stuff. But the thing that was interesting was you've kind of come full circle to ecosystem. Because you with QSys Control, you were controlling third-party video. Mm-hmm. Now you have your own video.
Yeah.
You have switches.
It's really about rounding out and providing our customers just an end-to-end solution that's built to work together. We've all been different places in the industry, and we've all heard different things in the industry, but one of the things that has stuck with me over the years is I heard someone say, it was like last year, I can buy audio, video, and control from this same company, but it doesn't work together any better than if I bought it from 3 different companies. When we talk about, and what we focus on is not just providing a product that you can do, because the only problem you solve then is the purchasing problem of putting it on a single PO. So we've kind of really worked hard as a team to make sure that each one of our products kind of weaves in and out of everybody else's products to have this great, weird, wonderful solution that, again, 10 years ago we were an audio-only company. 4 years ago we were an audio-only company. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of taken off like a rocket ship for us, which is pretty fun, exciting, a little bit terrifying, if we're going to be honest, but really exciting. So.
Now, when I met you, I think you were a technology manager for a university.
Yeah, small university in South Florida.
Okay, so you were a technology manager at a university. Then I think you went to Vadio.
Yes, in the frozen north of Minnesota.
And you were doing product development there.
I was doing a little bit of everything. So when I went to work for Vadio, they were a growing company that was feeling growing pains. I was hired to be an application engineer, and that was kind of just a generic title that encompassed everything I did from product software and hardware testing, making sure that when our customers got the product, it worked. Some usability testing with the web UIs and things like that. The product I worked on was one of the first to have a web UI, so it was moving out of serial-only communication and into that kind of like user space domain. And then I also did a lot of traveling with our sales team, talking to customers about how our product worked from a technical standpoint. But one of the things that's really interesting to how I got my job here was more or less just kind of being a punching bag, or standing in front of integrators and telling, what do you like, what do you hate, what do you wish we did differently. And so the last few months I was at Vadio, I was very focused on that aspect.
Okay.
How do we improve our products? How do we change things? what features are we missing.
You mean you actually asked people that use the product what if they like the product or not?
No, not only do you need to ask, so when we talk about developing product in our office, we have a silly name for each different person that touches the product, from Danny the designer, to Ivan the installer, to Karen from accounting, who's the person at the ultimate end user customer site. How do you, it's easy to say, okay, well, we want to do this, this, and this, but when it comes down to, okay, well, how does Perry the programmer tie this into a way that Karen from accounting can use it in her meetings? So yeah, it's, talking to a customer is good. Talking to 7 or 8 different customer types is better.
Yeah. So the part that I'm curious about, that jump from being a tech manager to being an applications engineer.
Yeah.
Not a natural thing that we see typically.
And it's a shame because it should be. It's exactly that. I've been, so an end user technology manager is to Karen from accounting what an application engineer is from a manufacturer to a system integrator. It is the next step up in the chain. It is, let me represent your concerns over here. And that's exactly what an application engineer did. It's, let me fix your systems, exactly like a tech manager does. Let me figure out what works and doesn't work, and how do we make this product solve your problems. And it's the same thing as a technology manager. I'd sit there and listen to the president of my university say, I need to be able to do this, I need to be able to do that, I need to put these things into place that can help me increase revenue, grow admission, things like that. Those are their problems to solve. So if I can use technology to solve them, it's no different than if a system integrator says, well, I need your product to do this because I'm spending too much time. I've got to turn my business over and get people out of install A to install B. I mean, it's the same high level thing. You're solving problems by using logic. It's just the practical application of that's a little bit different.
What are you drinking there, Mike?
I'm drinking the Orange Curtain IPA. We are at Barley Forge Brewing Company.
Barley Forge in Costa Mesa,
California. A fine brewery. We come here quite often. They've got a smattering of QSC speakers and EV speakers for when they have live music.
Oh,
here.
That's true. They do have QSC speakers up there.
So a little nice spot in an industrial park that has good beer for not too much money and is open in the middle of the afternoon when you want to work from here. So it's perfect.
There you go. I got hazy IPA, which I've been doing a lot of hazy IPA. I don't know why.
The unfiltered. Why not?
Actually, the one I like here, which you may as the video morphs, you may see a different beer in my hand here, is Patsy, which is their, so it's coconut, and it's a rye beer brewed with coconut.
Well, that sounds pretty yummy.
Awesome.
Okay, let everybody in on a little secret. I love good beer and I love good cocktails, but sometimes in the summer, when it's hotter than hell outside, a lot is better than good. And I'll have 3 or 4 Pabst Blue Ribbons before I touch a single IPA.
So you like Denver?
I love it. I didn't think I would ever love anything. I didn't think I would ever love anything as much as I loved Minneapolis. I was in Minneapolis just shy of 2 years.
Okay. And
I mean, it was a great, 2 years? Yeah, a little over 2 years actually. And it was great. I met some amazing people there. It's a world-class city. So I thought when QSC told me that I could either move to our development office in Boulder or find a different job, I thought, okay, well, I'm going to do it. And eventually I'll just move back. And now, that kind of certainty is waning a little bit in my mind. I still would like to move back.
So you're in Boulder, not Denver?
I live in downtown Denver. Our office is in Boulder.
Okay.
So I, every day, walk a mile to a bus station. I get on a bus that takes me 30 miles to the office, and then I walk into the office. It's great. I get to sleep into and out of the office. It's tremendous. It gives me a hard deadline. Like if I'm not out of the office by this point, I don't get to go home today.
Yeah,
So
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't do a 5:30 conference call.
Yeah, sorry guys. I mean, it's kind of like, remember when everyone was really trying to push carpool as a thing, and they got you to sign up for carpool, and with people you never knew, it's like, oh, carpool's leaving. I got to go get on the bus, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have 2 chances, and I missed the first one, so I got to
The park and ride is the park and ride is departing, and I will not have a ride home.
So yeah, I mean, Denver's a great city. I've in the past 2 years I've lived there, gotten into going outdoors, which is, again, growing up in Florida, you didn't do that. That's a surefire way to die from mosquitoes or alligators or heat exhaustion.
Yeah. Where did you fall in love with soccer?
So I grew up playing soccer. It was kind of it was before the area of every child played soccer. So I remember...
I grew up in that same time. Not everybody played soccer.
I remember being terrified that I let my father down because I was terrified of playing baseball. And my dad was not only my baseball coach, but the baseball park president.
Okay.
And I remember like 6 years old, no, I was probably 7 or 8, because it was well into kids that couldn't do math throwing baseballs at my head.
Okay.
And that was my concern. And I remember like heaving, crying, and telling my dad I didn't want to do this anymore. And I'm saying, okay. So I've always been overworked up about things, as you can tell. So getting into soccer, so he's like, well, you're not going to just sit around here and do nothing and watch TV. We had a very no TV rule growing up, 30 minutes a day, except for the news. The news did not count for your 30 minutes. So my dad's like, well, all right, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, oh, I don't know, soccer? I think I had one kid in my class who played soccer, and I was like, oh, I'll just play soccer. I mean, how hard can it be? So I got into soccer. I got really into soccer. I played high school soccer. For my high school, I played club soccer. I decided not to continue playing college soccer. And then, so in 2015, I kind of reconnected with my love of soccer. The girl I was dating at the time bought me tickets to the local, kind of like AAA version, or
what team is that?
Minnesota United was the name of the team.
So I've seen you tweet MNUFC.
Yep.
And I'm always thinking, oh, he's watching Midwestern MMA, but he's not. MNUFC is not.
No,
is
that
not
is
that.
not related to the Ultimate Fighting
Man,
Championships.
Darn it! I was wondering why. Didn't make sense.
So in 2015, I got into it. Anyways, we ended our relationship, and I continued on with soccer. And in fact, the supporters group there, at the time the Dark Clouds and True North Elite, kind of became my friends in the city. Because I mean, in April that year, I went to work for QSC, so I worked from my house all day.
Yep.
And I didn't really talk to human beings except for once a week. And so it was a really good experience for me. And then over time, I developed friendships with some of the people who work at the team and run the team. And so it's been a really fun experience. In fact, I'm going back in a few weeks. They built a brand new soccer stadium that's just a gorgeous, it's a cathedral to soccer. I'm a big US soccer fan as well. In fact, I remember getting kicked out of a cocktail bar in October of 2017 when the US failed to qualify.
Okay.
This was a very upscale cocktail bar, and I threw a chair, and before they could even come over, I just held up my credit card and said, I'm sorry. And then lately I've gotten a lot more into art and
oh, really?
The outdoors and things like that. Yeah.
Art?
Yeah, I joined the Walker Museum in Minneapolis, which is one of the best, I would say, modern and contemporary art museums in the nation. Sorry, it's not a museum; it's an art center. It should be very specific. But it was part of the WPA. So it's this gorgeous building. They've got a ton of great art. They have my favorite piece of art actually in the world.
What is that?
It's Chuck Close's self-portrait.
Chuck Close's self-portrait.
Yeah, so
because we're going to right now. You're going to see a fade into Chuck Close's.
So it's this what I thought for years was a photograph of a man smoking a cigarette. It turns out it's like a 12-foot tall painting of a man smoking a cigarette that's photorealistic.
Huh.
And Chuck Close has a lot of great self-portrait based art before his stroke, including his face woven into like a 14-foot blanket and things like that. So it's just really interesting art, and so that's per typical the kind of art that they have there. And museums are such an interesting world because there's the hyper experiential museums that have all this amazing technology. And I'm going to say something here that might frustrate a lot of people. My favorite museums have no technology in them. There's one in Denver, the Clifford Still Museum, and it's just art from this one guy that no one's ever heard of.
Okay.
But he was kind of the inspiration behind people like Jackson Pollock.
Okay.
So he more or less considered the pioneer of abstract art.
Okay.
But he had one showing in like MoMA and decided it was the worst experience of his life. And so he went on to produce somewhere in the neighborhood of like 600-700 pieces of art that were mostly 8 feet or larger. Just gigantic works. And then as soon as he painted them, honestly, most of them before they were dry, just rolled them up and put them in a tube in his barn. And when he died, they found a place to. Anyways, it's you walk in and it's just his art, and it's all it is, and it's very pretentious, which I don't know if maybe that's why I like it. But it's just this ultimate, like, the experiential aspect is the art. And I love that. But then I also really, really enjoy going to a science museum or something like that, where the information is augmented by the experiential technology. An exhibit on thunder would be really boring without hearing the claps of thunder or seeing the lightning bolts or feeling the floor shake. So I mean, there's two sides of the coin, but I really love hyper pretentious art museums, but I also really enjoy. I would not enjoy a technologyless art or science or history or science museum. I think I'd be bored out of my mind there. But.
Do you want to try Patsy?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, quick cut. The magic of web-based television.
New beer.
Patsy.
Yes.
You haven't tried it yet, right?
Well, I'll do it now.
Coconut.
I'm going to have some foam on my mustache.
Coconut rye.
It's delightful.
Isn't it good?
Yeah, I like it. It's not as coconutty as I was expecting. Not a huge coconut fan.
It's not
but,
sweet.
It's very mild.
It is. It's kind of like a little bit portery, stouty. But
I'm not nuts for coconuts.
But then why'd you want to get Patsy? Just for me?
You talked it up.
Just for me.
You're a very good sales guy.
Now
we have this great brewery around the corner from our office that we go to lunch at, and they have this. They have two. They have Billy's Chili's, which is delightful.
And is it red chili or green chili? Is it like spicy or
it's spicy?
Is it?
Yes. And then they have Ghostface Killa.
Okay.
Beer, which is a ghost pepper.
I've seen that.
And in fact, Ghostface Killa, the rapper, if you are aware, from the clan of Wu-Tang, actually sued them for name, image, and likeness use. And he was like, I don't want to be a dick. I just want 2 cases of beer. And
really?
So,
and
they settled it for like a few cases of beer. But it's exactly one of those beers that I can drink a 10 ounce of over an hour and a half. And no more. It's as soon as it's done, like, oh, do you want another one? I'm like, no, I'd rather never drink again. Thank you.
So Ghostface Killa is the rap version of the McKenzie brothers. Found a mouse in our beer, eh?
I guess. I don't know.
You gotta give us free beer. You never seen Strange Brew?
No.
Oh my god. Oh
is
my
that
god.
a movie? Anyways.
All right. Before my battery died, me and Mike's friend Greg, who happens to be off frame, were shocked that Mr. Brandis has not seen Strange Brew.
We're shocked that I've not seen an obscure movie that came out 4 years prior to my birth. We're all shocked.
It's a staple. So you need to go see Strange Brew, but Ghostface Killa from Wu-Tang decided to sue the brewery,
Twisted Pine Brewery in Boulder, Colorado,
over the name
of Ghostface Killa,
and he settled for
a few cases of beer,
which is just like the McKenzie brothers, who used to shove a live mouse in a bottle of beer and then take it back to the brewery and say they found a mouse in their beer, and if they didn't get free beer, they were going to sue.
I mean, these just seems like solutions and not like problems.
This sounds like what an applications engineer would do, probably.
You're not wrong.
That's awesome.
No.
Well, hey, I thank you so much for joining me.
It was fun. I'm glad we got to do it.
I'm glad you got to do it too. You bugged me. You kind of shamed me a little bit for ignoring you. I wasn't trying to ignore you. I
just didn't respond to my text messages.
So
it's fine. That's fine.
You know,
I'm not
okay.
angry.
You know, if you hadn't sent me all those pictures before, then maybe I would have not been ignoring your.
I'm sorry. I thought you liked to have fun.
Hey,
I will say, I thank you for inviting me to do the things we normally do, but putting a camera in front of us.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good thing. Well, hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed Technologists in Bars Talking AV. Thanks to Mike again for joining us, and we will see you guys next time.